Alright, what's up, y'all? Sorry, look, this video was supposed to be made. We made it once, but we deleted it within like 20 minutes because we had some errors in the video, so we had to remake it. But
What were
basically,
the errors?
we were saying the people's names, so we're not gonna say their names in this video. But this talks about how we met, which involves other people, so we're not gonna put their names though. But yeah, for y'all that don't know, I'm Ralph,
I'm Tara.
and this is gonna be the first video for our channel and everything. But yeah, we just gonna let y'all know about everything and how we met and try to sum it up because it's a long story though. But you want to start?
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, I was dating this guy. We dated for like 7 or 8 months, and then we broke up. He broke up with me, and while we were broken up, we were still on and off like all the time. So we were never like, I don't know. So one day the next day, it was a Saturday, we had a concert we were both going to, and we was texting, and we were talking about meeting up and stuff. So we had a concert coming up, and so we were both going to it, so we were texting, talking about meeting up. And so the concert day, I get there, and we was calling each other back and forth, you know, asking where each other was, but like the service at the place was like really bad, and so it was hard trying to get a hold of him. And so I finally found him in the crowd, and it was on accident that I found him. But he was with 2 girls and his friend. His friend has a girlfriend, but neither of the girls were the girlfriend, so I thought these were just some random girls. So I was just like, okay. So I give him a hug, and I was talking to him for a little bit, and shit got very awkward very fast. So I walked away. We split up. So after the concert, the next day, he had texted me. I don't know if I texted him or he called me, or I don't know what happened, but we ended up talking on the phone. And he was just like, oh yeah, the girl in the brown hair was some girl I used to talk to. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, so you trying to come over? And so he came over that weekend. Then a few weeks go by, and I'm over at my friend's house, and I was like scrolling through Twitter, and I was like, oh, this girl's like really pretty, and she got her tongue pierced. I'm like, I've been trying to get my tongue pierced. So I was gonna ask where she got it pierced at, but like her DMs on Twitter are closed, so I wasn't able to DM her. And my friend was like, "Who are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, this girl right here." And she's like, "Oh, that's my friend Jay." And I was like, oh, "Okay." She's like, "I can give you her Snapchat." So I was like, "Sure." So I get her Snapchat, and I start texting her, and I was just like, "Hey, where'd you get your tongue pierced at? Like, I've been trying to get mine done." And she was like, she texted me back, but she had it to where she didn't add me back, but like her messages were like public, so you could text her without her having you added. And so we were texting, and she told me like where she got it pierced at, and I was just like, okay, cool. And so I was like, thank you, and she was like, you're welcome. So I left her on red. I never texted her back. She texted me back 15 minutes later, and she also added me, and I had stuff posted on my story, and she was like, asked me a whole bunch of questions like, oh, where do you live, like what school you go to? And I just thought she was trying to be friendly, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, entertain it. And so she was like, well, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, no, but I got a nigga on games. And she was like, oh, well, who is it? Like, maybe I know him. I was like, no, I don't think you know him, because he was older. Because at the time I was 16 and he was 19, and she's a year younger than me. So I was like, no, you wouldn't know him. And we broke up for that situation. Or so he says, we broke up for that situation. And so I was like, nah, you won't know him. And she's like, oh, come on, like I might know him. And so I was like, okay, his name's N. And she was just like, oh, well, how's he playing games? And I was like, oh, well, he stayed over like a few weekends ago, and like we just been like very on and off and stuff. And so she never replied to that, and she ended up blocking me. But I was just like, I was clueless. I didn't know like who she was, and I was just like, okay, like, because I didn't know she blocked me until like 45 minutes later, until I didn't see her name anymore. So I was like, okay. And so one day I go over to the mall, and my ex is there, and he's with his friend, and you know, I stop and give him a hug or whatever, and he was like, oh, I heard some shit about you. I was like, what'd you hear about me? He was like, that you texted the girl I was talking to. And I was like, who was you talking to? And he was like, Jay. And I was like, you talked to Jay? like, mind you, she was 15, 16, and at this point, he's 20. And so I was, like, confused, and, like, he told me he broke up with me because of, like, that reason, like, me just being younger or whatever. So I was just like, okay, like, I had no idea. But little did I know she was the girl from the concert. She does not look anything like her pictures. She's a lot cuter in her pictures, I think. I mean, she's not ugly. She's cute. She is cute, but she's a lot prettier in her pictures. And
that's how it is with most of these females, though, anyways.
Yeah, and so it was just like I said, it was just this whole big mess. So I left him alone. I was just like, okay, whatever. One day, my friend that I was with, she asked me, like, hey, can you drop me off at Jay's house? And at the time, me and her weren't cool. Like, she still had me blocked. I didn't talk to her, like, since that day I told her about, like, you know, her boyfriend sleeping over and stuff. And so I ended up dropping my friend off, and she comes to the car, and she was like, oh, my name's Jay. And she's like, now we can hang out now that ends out the picture. But, like, 2 weeks before that, I think I hung out with him. And so it was just like, I don't know, it was really confusing. But that's where he comes in.
And that's where everything starts. So I'm with my friend Jordan, right? He had moved out here. We in Dallas. He moved out of Dallas from Chicago. And he was staying with me and shit, you know, so we just like, I'm like, hey, bro, you trying to pop out? You trying to go somewhere? He's like, yeah, let's do it, folks. I'm like, all right. So we go to some hookah lounge, and it's like, there's only a few minutes down the street from my crib or whatever. So we get there and everything, we chilling. And of course, there's a lot of people there and everything. So then I'm like, hey, bro, old girl and I'm staring, you know, like, you might as well go over there. So then as soon as I said that, that's when one girl walks over to us and was talking to my friend, like, hey, my friend think you cute, you know. And I was like, all right, bro, just go over there. He's like, all right. So I'm talking to her. I'm like, so, you know, what's up with you? What's your name? Whatever. I'm like, and then that's when she's like, oh, my name is Jay. I'm like, okay. And I didn't know Tara at the time. So I'm like, all right, you know, how old are you? She's like, I'm 18, this and this. I'm like, all right. I was 19 at the time. She's like, I'm 18. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, so where you stay? You know, we just talking and shit like that. So basically we talk. I get a number and everything, and then we leave. I ended up linking up with her that night, but then after that, she texted me in the morning and was like a long message. I'm like, she just texted me a whole book. I'm like, my homie like, hey, bro, let me read this. I didn't tell you that?
No.
Oh, well, basically she texted me and was like, oh, I'm sorry, but I lied. I'm really 16 and this and just, you know, tell me about her age. And I'm like, hold on. Flag on the play, coach. I'm like, hold on.
She had told him that she was 18. Yeah. And she did that to a lot of
what was she
at
the time? 15, 16?
She was 15, 16.
Yeah, one of those. I'm like, all right, damn. I'm like, all right, so I asked my homie, like, bro, how should I handle this? He was like, nigga, what you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, bro. So I'm like, all right, bet. I was like, all right, it's cool, you know, everything. At least you told me, you know, now this and this. So then me and her ended up hanging out after that, and then it just became to a point where I was always hanging out with her. And then that's when she was like, you know, my friend gonna come over this and this. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bring my homie, because I was going to her crib. She's like, my friend gonna come over. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bring my homie, you know, so he can meet her friend. And we get there and everything, we chilling, and that's when Tara pulled up.
Oh, wait, and I didn't even tell y'all that, like, the way me and her became friends was that when she came to my car that day talking about, like, oh, my name's Jay, like, now we can hang out, she had unblocked me off of Snapchat and told me to send her my number, and she texted me, and she was just talking so much shit about, like, and that's how me and her kind of became friends.
She was sneak dissing about him?
Yeah, because we met up the next day and we were sitting at Chick-fil-A talking for like 2 hours about the whole situation and how he cheated on her with like multiple girls, and it wasn't just me. Because what he did to her, like, I don't know if he did to me or not. Like, I just...
Pretty sure he did.
I know.
Obviously that's why we're making this video. He did it to you. So, I mean...
No, but like when they were on, he was never talking to me. Like, so I don't know if there was other girls involved. When I was with him, so. But
basically, we go to her crib, Tara pulled up, and I'm like, all right, bro, you know, her friend pretty, you know, get on that. He like, all right. They probably talked for like 20, 30 minutes, and he was like, nah, bro, I'm not feeling her, you feel me? So I'm like, all right, bro, it's cool, you feel me? I'm like, at least you know you tried, bro. So I'm like, all right. No, but basically, they end up not talking or whatever. So then, me and Jay, we cool, you know, we just talking, we hanging out, this and this. So over time, you know, after Tara came around, she was always around, like, it would always be us three. And, like, because you was driving. Neither one of us... Well, I had a car, but then I was sharing a car with my mom, this and this. So, that's when you had your car and she was like, you know, y'all, you was basically driving everywhere we went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just give you gas or whatever. But nah, basically it became weird over time, you know. And I started hearing things about Jay, you know, they like, oh, you know, she talked to dude. So I'm like, who is dude for? Because I didn't know dude. I moved out here like 2 years ago, so I ain't know nobody like that besides the people I was hanging out with. So I'm like, they like, oh, she talked to her ex still, this and this. I heard that from multiple people, like on Snap, because a lot of people knew me, but I didn't know them. And it was just because, I mean, the people I was with was always posting me or something, I guess. But basically, a lot of people knew me. So they was like, oh, she talked to her ex still, this and this. I'm like, I bet. So I'm going to peep the scene. You feel me? I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to see how it play out. So basically, that whole situation crumbled. I got a call. Well, matter of fact, that's when y'all got into it. And she called me and was like, go block Tara on Snapchat, this and this and this, out of nowhere. And I'm like, what you mean? What happened? I thought that was your girl. You feel me? Like, what's going on? She wouldn't tell me nothing. She was just like, nothing. Just go block her.
She was mad because one day when we all three went to
we went to that hookah
bar. We went to a hookah bar and I went outside to go get my jacket from my car. And when I was coming back in, my ex was walking out the building. And we ran into each other and we stopped. And he was talking about how there was like a fight or whatever. And he was asking who I was with. And I was like, oh, I'm with Jay and like Ralph. And like he didn't know that me and her became friends or whatever, because I told you I didn't talk to him at all. And then he was showing me a video on his phone of like some fight that had just happened before I even walked out, and Jay was calling me on my phone, and so I didn't answer because I was watching this video, and all of a sudden she comes walking out, Tara. And so I gave him a hug and I was like, okay, we'll see ya. We get back into the hookah lounge. She
instantly, look, we on this couch. She turned her back to Tara fast as hell. Like, wasn't talking to her the whole time. I
was so pissed.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm talking to Tara like, you know, we just talking, and she was not trying to talk to Tara. So I'm like, it was weird. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But basically that happened. I get the call, everything. She like, block her, this and this. So I'm like, you know why? She's like, she wouldn't tell me. And that's one thing about Jay. She would always play victim, like, and wouldn't tell the full side of the story or wouldn't tell the truth about the story. So I'm like, all right, I got you. So I blocked Tara on Snapchat, right? Then I unblocked her just to find out what happened. So I'm like, hey, what's your number? I'm finna call you real quick. She's like, all right, this is. I'm like, so what's going on? Like, why she mad? You feel me? Like, why she told me to block you? She's like, basically, that's when you told me, like, she mad because she said that I still talk to to her ex. And I'm like, first of all, hold on. I was like, first of all, it's weird because first, that's both of y'all ex. Two, y'all met each other after him. So it wasn't like, you know.
And it wasn't even me trying to be friends with her. Like, she came to me talking about, like, let's be friends. Like, it was that kind of situation. And yeah, I never once, like, I never got into it with In or anything like that. So, like, me and him was just always cool. All we did was went to the movies. We didn't get back together or anything like that. We was just talking, like, we just hung out, and one of her friends had told her because one of her friends went with us to the movies. So that's how she found out about that.
Yeah, she was like, she still talks to my ex, this and this. I mean, you was like, she mad because she, you know, she said I'm talking to her ex. And I'm like, how's that her ex when y'all both was dating him at different times? I'm like, before y'all even knew each other. I'm like, too, why she worried about that if, you know, supposedly me and her talking? Like, we good. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So then I'm like, and that's when one of her other friends, because she would always bring a bunch of random females around me. A bunch of random females, whoever drove. She was finessing people for rides. Just to go anywhere. So she was like, one of her friends hit me up like, you know, she was just with him. And I'm like, Jay was just with who, dude? And she was her ex. And they was like, yeah, you know. Basically, he pulled up to her crib. And they was in the car talking for a long ass time. And he brought her flowers, this and this. And she was in the car crying about how she would have got back with him. So I'm like, oh, okay, she left that out. Because basically she told me about him, and she was like, he came to her mama job and was asking for her. And
this is when me and her were still friends. Like, this before me and her fell off, because when, like, I started talking back with dude. But she had brought, or I guess he went up to her mom's job and was talking to his mom about it. And it's funny because, like, her mom didn't say anything about it to, like, Ralph, because she knew Ralph was over there and stuff. So she didn't say anything to him.
Nobody told me nothing.
Yeah.
But
and so
that's where I was like, she told me, like, you know, he came to my mama's job and that's it. And he was asking about me, and then that was it, he left. But the truth was, he came to her mom's job, like she said, left, then end up going to her house. And she was at work, so she gets home and he was there. And she said she walked past him or whatever and was like, walked straight past him, went in the house. Talking to mama like, why would you tell him to come over here? And she was like, oh, I didn't tell him to, but just go out there and talk to him because he's not going to leave this and this. So she said she went out there and talked to him. No, she said her exact words was, I went out there, I told him I got a nigga, there's nothing else to talk about, and he left. So I'm like, okay, bet, what's his number? So she gave me his number. I'm like, I call him like, hey, I'm not even gonna call you on no, no beef shit. I just want to ask you a question. I'm like, what happened with, when you pulled up to her crib, like, and I was like, she said basically she told you she got a nigga and you left. And he was laughing. He was like, nah, that's not what happened. So I'm like, I figured, you feel me? So I'm like, and he was like, well, we was just talking and shit for a little bit. And I'm like, all right, cool, hung up. So I called her and I'm like, yeah, it's over. Like, we didn't really put no title on it, but I'm like, yeah, I'm done with you. You feel me? Like, he even told me what the fuck is going on. You lied about it. She on the phone crying, this and this, I hung up. So then basically, she ended up hitting me up one day on a Friday and was like, can we talk? And I was like, yeah, but it was like 6 o'clock. I'm like, I'm finna go to this party at like 10. So I'm finna go home and get ready. You feel me? I'm like, so what's up? Like, I'm gonna pull up real quick, we talk. I get in the car. She like, I just wanna know if we really done this and this. I'm like, yeah. Long story short, she's like, all right, cool. She's like, what you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, I'm going to that party. You feel me? She's like, all right. And then I'll leave. So then that's when she was, when you was supposed to be going to the hookah bar, right? And,
Oh, yeah.
And then she was supposed to go to the hookah bar with dude, with her ex. And he ended up blocking her. And one of his friends was like, you want me to pick you up? And she's like, nah, I don't think that'd be cool with him, you feel me? But he was like, because he supposed to be going with Jay anyways. And she like, okay, all right, bet. So then I call her like, I'm finna leave this party, this shit dead. I'm just gonna pull up to Jasmine's hookah bar or whatever. She's like, oh, so-and-so supposed to be up there. Let me know if you see them walk in together. I'm like, all right, I got you. At this time, me and her had no type of connection, relationship-wise, nothing. And they swear up and down that we was fucking with each other behind their back. But I'm like, I got you. I'll let you know. You feel me? So I get down with my homie and shit. 10 minutes later, they walk in. He walked in right behind her. She go sit down first with her friend, and it was him and one other dude. And then her friend walked up to him and whispered something. So he ended up walking to a different seat that was close to them. So I'm like, it looked like she just told him, don't sit next to her. You feel me? This and this. So I called Tara. I'm like, yeah, they up here. She's like, I bet. So I'm like, just fuck it. Don't even. I like, dude, goofy as hell anyways. Fuck it. So I'm like, shit, let's go out next weekend. You feel me? I'm like, shit, I ain't doing shit. You ain't doing shit. I'm off work. So let's pop out. She's like, I bet. I picked you up and like 3 other girls. I don't remember who it was. And then I picked.
No, I think they met us there. They met us there.
I picked up you and I picked up my homie. And we went up there. You was there with your friends. Me and my homie chilling. We sitting across from each other. And then Jay called me like, what you doing? And this was the weekend after. I'm like, I'm up here at the, at the hookah bar or whatever. She like, I'm like, Tara up here, right? She's like, are you talking to her? I'm like, yeah. I said, what's up to her? You feel me? I'm like, she's like, all right, well, I'm finna come up there, this and this. I'm like, okay. At the time, this still the time where she lied to me. I ain't say nothing to her after this. I'm like, all right, okay, what you telling me? You coming up here? So she gets up there. She said, literally, first of all, I'm with my homie. I'm like, dude, we on this couch. Long ass. I'm like, nigga, make as much room as you can for like, no, matter of fact, take up as much room as you can. So we end up like stretching out on that bitch. She sits in the smallest fucking spot and would just sit next to me. And it was awkward as hell because I was not talking to her the whole night. I think I said one thing to her when she actually hit the hookah. I was like, here. That was it.
It was funny because I was sitting right across from them. Like,
It was hella tension.
Ralph was there, Jay was there, and then I was right here. And I was just like, and she would look at me and she saw that I was with my friend. She was with like, one other person?
Yeah.
And that other person went and sat somewhere else. And
she was with some other
Jay
dudes.
was sitting there, like, she looked so stupid. She was just sitting there like,
literally close
and he wasn't talking
like,
to her or anything. I was just sitting there just like,
I'm like, there's nothing for me to say. But
it was
basically,
so
we ended up leaving. We leave, and after that night in the car, we were just talking. I dropped everybody off, and I had to take Tara home last. And then she was like, we in the car talking, and she was like, we get to her crib. She's like, I don't want to go in yet. Can we talk? I'm like, that's cool. You feel me? I'm like, we can talk. We end up kissing that night, and then after that, that's when it became a thing. And me and her been talking for a minute. It's just, I haven't asked her out. I just asked Tara out like July 8th. So it's been on and off, but it was perfect timing. You feel me? I waited until I knew I was ready to commit to her. I didn't want to dog her out and no shit like that. So that's how we met basically. And then it became, a little thing after that.
Oh, wait, and then on top of that, like, me and him, didn't ever stop. Like, we didn't start talking, and then like I was trying to hold off talking to him because I knew I liked him, but because like we were starting to hang out like a lot, but I was still trying not to like catch.
You were curving me, nigga. I was like, gee, she is tweaking. But I told my homie, no, I'm like, bro, she's tweaking.
The only reason why is because like me, like I'm like a really like loyal kind of person, so like I thought I was doing both of them wrong, like my ex and her.
No, that was literally everything you said. Every time I like say anything or like to take it to the next level thing, she would be like, oh, I mean, I want to, but I can't, you know, I don't want to because it's gonna look fake on my part, you know. That was, even though me and her not cool, you know, I still like respect them. I'm like, why are you respecting people who don't respect you, my nigga?
Hold on, I'm not even finished. But then it wasn't until like, cause like I said, I knew I liked him, but I was trying to hold off because I thought I was being like, you know, whatever. And so my sister had my ex on Snapchat, and I don't even think he knows that she has him on Snap, but she was like, oh, like, he posted something, and mind you, I hadn't talked to him because he had blocked me out of nowhere, and so, she was like, oh, he posted something, so I'm on Snapchat, and I'm looking at the Snap, and he's in the bitch backyard, so I'm like, what, like, how's she gonna get mad at me for talking to him, and then right when me and him stop talking, she gets like that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I left that part out too. When one of her friends that she was cool with, that she ended up doing some petty shit to them, they hit me up too and was like, yeah, like while me and her were talking, like he was in her backyard smoking with her and her brother, so they were still hanging out behind my back. So I'm like, it's cool, you feel me? I'm like, I ain't even gonna hold no grudge. I'm like, I bet. And that's when everything happened, but basically, that's how we met. And then, shit just went from there. And now, you know, now we here. Now we here. But yeah, we got another video too coming right after this one. Right after this one. We trying to make a few uploads because we both busy as hell. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put my social medias and hers in the description. Y'all can follow us on there. I mean, that's when y'all get everything like early. Like we promote everything on there. Add us on there. Subscribe to this channel, and then make sure you thumbs up this video. And you can leave a comment, you feel me? We're going to reply to the comments. We're going to do all that. So, just, you know, keep fucking with our channel. It's going to get real lit.
Get the fuck
I'm going to get your ass. And it's going to be pranks. It's going to be all that. So, y'all just keep, you know, subscribe. Turn on the post notifications, and you'll get everything.
Okay.
All right?